No arguing for the back is allowed.
Craig, watch this video of this cat.
Oh my god, this cat.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it again and cry.
Ugh. Okay, I need crap. I keep forgetting.
That poor cat. Oh my god. Every time it gets me.
So Hannah just shared with us a video of a man on rollerblades while holding a kitten, and he falls, and the cat just kind of disappears out of the frame.
He throws it behind the couch. It's not funny. Don't abuse your animals. I'll come and freaking murder you. But
I'm sure the cat was
When it's
fine.
accidental, it's funny, okay?
I'm sure
I
the
know.
cat's fine. It's fine.
It's a cat. It landed on its feet, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I've definitely yeeted my cat across the room.
Yeah.
She's good.
Peppa, would you like to be yoked?
What?
I said, Peppa, would you like to be yoked? As in the past tense of yeet.
Speaking of my
man.
child, here she is.
Ugh. Maisie's out in the living room because she still hates to be in here because she thinks that if we're in here, she won't be able to interact with any human, and apparently I'm not good enough, so
Jeez, Maisie.
she's a little brat. But that's okay.
I mean,
Oh,
we love her
man.
anyway, but...
Oh no, I love her to death. She's just her FOMO's just so bad. She would rather be out by herself in the living room than sitting here with me in case
Rude.
someone comes home.
You never know.
I know. Well, my one roommate who's actually, like, in town is gone.
Yeah.
I think she's with her boyfriend. I don't fucking know. But, yeah. So, you know.
What my darling angel did to me today.
Oh, I love that. Look at those little love bites. Scratches.
There's more on my feet. She's such a psychotic bitch.
Are those
I don't
dinosaur
understand.
pajamas?
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
It's a matching set. The T-Rex, he's upside down and he says, "Aw, nuts."
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh, man.
They're like super old. I also have a pair of pizza pajamas. They're from Target from like 100 years ago, but I love them so much.
I mean, my pajamas that I am still in are... It's an Ewok from Star Wars.
There you go.
Yeah,
In
update,
like a triple
friends.
XL shirt, because so comfy.
We're recording in the morning, which is
I know.
new and weird, and why is the sun out?
Right? I mean, to be fair, I'm usually in my pajamas anyway when we record.
Well,
but
Yeah, but I mean, it's like
but yeah, the
daytime
sun is out,
pajamas,
and
not
that's
nighttime
weird.
pajamas.
And the sun's still not out here because it's raining, but
Oh, well.
Well, that's a you problem, so.
it is. Yeah,
The
it's like
rest of
60 degrees.
Vampires are weird.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, it's 60 degrees and raining, so I had to put on clothes to walk Maisie. So I'm not in my pajamas, but only because of the dog. Normally I still would be, so... Yeah. And even then, I put on jeans. I'm wearing the same shirt I slept in, and then I put my Twin Peaks Sheriff Department flannel on underneath the shirt I slept in because I got cold. So
Shannon,
Nice.
you just said overneath.
did I?
You did. Just so you're aware.
Great.
We're starting off real great with this.
Yep, I'm the one talking the most today. This will be fun.
Woo!
Okay, are you all
As
ready to get
always,
started?
We are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Oh, I
going to
don't-
tell you guys something. I'm always so bad at remembering anything in life.
That's okay.
I'll remember.
I had a dream about this podcast,
She did.
and I screamed at Shannon.
I mean, is that unusual?
No, it was just like, because she stole I was going to do the Hagley Woods murder, who put Bella in the witch elm, apparently, in my dream, and Shannon did it, and I was very upset. And then you were replaced by my friend Danley, because you had to
Wouldn't
go to
that have
work.
been so fucking weird if that was what I was doing today?
I probably would have to,
It's not,
go
but
live in the woods and become, like, some kind of shaman, because,
Yeah.
I don't know, I think that all Irish people are a little bit psychic, because we're druids.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Oh my god. Did I tell you that I know we gotta, like, speed this up, but I have finally found an instance where I am too Irish, and it's, like, really bugging me.
What? How? I don't know. What?
Because I was trying to figure out where my family is from, because, like, my mom's side of the family is Polish, and I was trying to figure out where the fuck we're from in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And all of my DNA, because we do the Ancestry and 23andMe, and it's like, yeah, you do have Eastern European, but we don't know where from because you are too fucking Irish to even
Oh my
extract
goodness.
any Polish from this, so we don't know where you are from in Poland. I was like, great,
my
fucking,
goodness.
and now I have to, like, look up my mom's DNA.
Mm-hmm.
It literally says 100% Irish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
Have you seen your hair?
top row norm.
We're
Let's
so
go.
Irish that it overshadows the German and the French.
Which is hard
Which-
to do.
Yeah. It's 56%. So it can't really oh no, we can detect where in Germany. Because Allie did 23andMe. But
They're like, haha, Eastern European, LOL, just kidding, you're Irish. I was like, okay, well, not
I
helpful.
have never done a DNA test because
they're
don't care.
interesting. Yeah, they're interesting.
My
Also,
my aunt
I've
is
known like 3 or 4 people who have done a DNA test and found like children they didn't know they had
Uh-huh.
from like high school, and so
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
we found
obviously
some-
not gonna happen to me, but like
some
also
like cousins we didn't know we had.
Yeah.
don't want that. To
I mean, one of my uncles on my dad's side, we don't actually know, the one who's an actual alcoholic, quote unquote, we don't actually know how many kids he has.
yeah.
So, like,
Is that the one in Arkansas?
yes. Well, he's not anymore, apparently.
Well.
But yes. Yeah. That side of the family's from Arkansas, so
Right.
the mysterious unknown children are probably all in Arkansas as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Arkansas spawn.
Yeah. My family's fun. We're gonna get started. Now, I don't have another word besides comrades because I did not think of one, so that's just what we're gonna do today again. Hope
You can
that's
say
okay
friends.
with everybody. Or
You can
friends.
say-
Okay.
Dickheads.
Whatever you want to say, I don't
We're
care.
just gonna
Your
do
life.
okay.
I mean, I said friends the last time, but that's
Yeah.
just because that's what I say to the children at the daycare.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna go with comrades because I'm tired and I don't feel like making another one. Okay, is everybody ready to do this? Does everybody know when they're saying their names?
I'm after Hannah.
No.
No. You're after Shannon.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be a
good
good episode.
Lord.
I am so pumped.
Oh my god. Okay.
Off to a great start, and we haven't
Yeah.
even started.
Nope. Okay.
Shelby's a professional.
We all are. Welcome, comrades. You're listening to the Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive. I'm Shannon.
I'm Hannah.
No!
Oh,
Damn
shit,
it, Hannah!
I just yelled at you about it. Oh my god. I'm gonna drown myself in this coffee cup, so you guys carry
You
on.
literally
Bye.
just told me I was after Shannon.
We're not redoing it. We're just.
I got so excited.
Okay, anyway, I'm Shelby. That's Hannah and Shannon. We're
I'm
great
Hannah,
at this.
and I'm wrong. And I just yelled at Shelby for being wrong.
We've
and
done this 11 times.
Look.
Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know what to tell
Anyway.
you. It's morning. We're
I
all
know.
thrown off.
I know. Okay. I have a PowerPoint. Oh wait, I have announcements real quick, but I do have a PowerPoint and an outline if you guys want to open that soon.
Oh, yeah.
For announcements, real quick.
Heck yeah.
Last time we said we were going to do Patreon things, and then Craig decided to not show up for work, so we do not have
Yeah,
Patreon
Craig
things.
straight yeeted out of the.
Yeah.
like,
He just
that's
refused.
that's our word of the day is yeet.
We could not get a hold of him, and he refused to do his job. So, we do not have Patreon things, and we probably won't until October. Or, well, maybe the middle of September. We will see. So
Craig was fired and rehired at a lower rate,
yeah.
which is now he pays us.
He used to be free, and now he gets negative. He pays us
He
work for
pays
us.
us to work for us. Yeah.
I wish.
That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, do you guys have any announcements? Or that was my
I had a dream about this podcast.
You did.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't prophetic this time.
Yeah, that would have
No,
been
I
really
mean-
unsettling if it was.
Honestly, it's happened. It's been known to happen.
I know.
Like
That's
I
why I
said,
don't
all
like it.
Irish people are druids. I think that we have the sight.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe Emma has it.
Oh, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
Emma's straight up, I don't know, what's the word? On the ethereal plane.
There you go. Okay, so if you guys want to go ahead and get yourself pulled up, which I think you did already.
I'm so excited for
Yeah,
this.
today we are talking about the Chicago Tylenol Murders, which I know are covered by, it's covered by, every single podcast in history, but
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting case, so we're going to talk about it anyway.
Also,
And you live there, so...
I do live here. Yeah, I do have a lot of things on my dibs list that are Chicago-based, and a lot of them that are St. Louis-based. I went by city, apparently.
I did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Well, I'm also the only one who consistently does, true crime stuff, so it makes more sense for me to look for things city-specific.
Also, you're
at
the
least
only
for
one
me.
who's, consistently lived in one place.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's also
we're
true.
from wherever the fuck, and
Yeah. That's very true. Okay, so for my sources, can you guess what the very first source is, guys?
was it Wikipedia?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wikipedia.
Are we going to go on another 20-minute rant about Wikipedia
I'm
this week?
literally gonna do it right now.
Please don't. I don't want to edit that again.
No, I'm just gonna look. I'm just looking.
Okay. I have an article from PBS. I have information from crimemuseum.org. We have a video that we're going to watch 4 seconds of. And then an article from Chicago Mag. And then I actually got a decent amount of information from the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode about this, which is called
Oh,
The
heck
Mysterious
yeah.
Poison to Pill Murders. Yeah.
BuzzFeed
So-
Unsolved is the best.
It's so great. I love it. I used it for not my next episode, but the one after that. I used one of their episodes for that too. They're nice. they're so short and condensed, but they have so much information.
I was going to say,
So nice.
it's very thorough, but, it doesn't
Short.
take up a lot of my time.
Yes, exactly.
Can I
Yes.
interject for 1 second?
Go ahead.
Guess who has edited this?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
Oh my
I'm
god!
not joking. July 19th, 2020.
How?
Okay, so I don't remember how much of the...
I cut out literally all of it.
Okay, but there's
Because
this,
it was
one dude on
20
Wikipedia who
minutes.
has edited every single true crime article.
Wikipedia
It's very
article.
bizarre.
It's so weird. I can't believe he's in this one too.
He is.
Oh my god, I don't like that. Okay.
We're using the he pronoun because there's a male name in it, but
Yeah.
who's to say?
Yeah, we
Anyway,
really don't know.
Probably
They.
say
Just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway. Okay. God, that's very strange. All
I'll
right.
stop looking
I
now.
don't like it.
Okay. Yeah.
My
Okay.
eyebrows are not even at all.
Good to know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Y'all,
so,
my mom is the best. She just brought
Shelby!
me food and tea.
Aw.
that's good.
I'm sorry. Look, she literally just handed me an English muffin with cheese on it, which is my favorite thing. You can talk
it.
now, Shannon. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not, but...
I know. Okay. So, this whole thing started on Wednesday, September 29th, 1982, and the vast majority of this, so I have this set up in a timeline format. The vast majority of this, if not the whole thing, came from that Chicago Mag article. And then, just a note, most, if not all of these happen with extra strength Tylenol. So if I say Tylenol, I mean extra strength Tylenol. I just didn't want to write out extra strength Tylenol every single time. And then
fair.
these all happened with capsules, not with tablets. And that does matter, I promise. Okay.
It does.
Yeah, so if you could go to the next slide. So, Mary Kellerman was a 12-year-old from Schaumburg, which is a suburb of Chicago. She woke up not feeling very well. Her parents kept her home from school and gave her some extra strength Tylenol. This was at about 6:30 in the morning. A little bit after that, minutes later, her father found her unconscious on the bathroom floor. She literally went into the bathroom, shut the door, and just collapsed. She was taken to the hospital, and she was pronounced dead at 9:56 a.m. So, 3.5 hours later, basically. Police were notified, but there wasn't inherently suspicious about the death. Like, foul play wise, like, it was obviously weird that a 12-year-old just fell over dead, but there wasn't anything, like, they didn't suspect foul play. But an autopsy was ordered, both because of her age and the circumstances of her death. So if you can go to the next slide. Adam Janis was a...
Oh my god.
What?
He looks like Ashley's
I
Adam.
know, doesn't he?
That's
I thought
so
that too.
weird.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
I know.
Ugh.
He looks like Ashley's husband. It's very
Weird.
strange.
That's
I know.
That's so strange.
I know. Yeah, so that's Adam Janis. He was a 27-year-old postal worker in Arlington Heights. All of these not all of these, most of these take place in the suburbs, which for a lot of people who are from Chicago, calling the suburb Chicago is like a big no-no, but I don't care. So
That's like people who call St. Charles St. Louis.
yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
You're,
Like,
no.
Yeah, I just
You
don't
live in the white part of town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just, we can't call these the Chicago suburb Tylenol murders. Plus, there was one that took place in the city of Chicago itself. It's just easier. So that's why I'm saying, that's why it's called the Chicago Tylenol murders. It's just easier. So, he was a postal worker in Arlington Heights. He had taken a sick day. And so this is a quote from Helen Jensen, who was a public health nurse for Arlington Heights. Quote, he had stayed home from work because he had felt like he was getting a cold. And then he went to pick up his kids from preschool and stopped at the Jewel to get some Tylenol. Just a note, Jewel is a grocery store here. It's a chain in this area. It is called, like, when you refer to Jewel, you call it the Jewel every single time. I don't know why. That's just what people up here do. Back to the quote.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. They just do. It's also...
We have a place here called Cumberland Farms that everybody calls Cumbies, and it makes me so uncomfortable.
That's disgusting.
I do not like that.
I hate it. Can you imagine, like, my first day subbing at a middle school, and all these little shitheads come in with their Cumberland Farms hot chocolate or coffee or whatever, and they're all like, yeah, we stopped at Cumbies this morning, and I was like, you are 12. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Ew.
Ugh, yeah.
It's very...
Also, don't give 12-year-olds coffee.
Yeah.
It's bad for them.
Listen, there's no rules up here in Maine.
Yeah. Also, as a note, Jewel is also ridiculously expensive. Anyway, back to the quote. Adam Janis, again, this is the quote from Helen Jensen. Yeah, he went to the Jewel, got some Tylenol. He came home, and they had some lunch, and he said, I'm going to take 2 Tylenol and lie down. A couple minutes later, he came staggering into the kitchen, and he collapsed. He was taken to the hospital. He ended up dying at around 3:15 that afternoon. So if we could go to the next slide. So this is Mary Lynn Reiner. Some places called her Mary, some places called her Lynn. I think her full name might be Mary Lynn Reiner, and then sometimes she went by her middle name. I'm not 100% sure.
It's like your mom. No one
It
really
is,
knows
exactly.
what her name
It's
is.
literally like my mother. Like, we will go places with my mom, like out shopping, and they'll be like, do you have rewards? And she'll be like, yes. And they'll be like, which name? And she'll be like, I don't know. And they'll be like, you don't know your own name? So, that's fun.
She's like, I don't know which one I
remember-
use this time.
When I stayed with you that one summer, and so, like, we gave your mom a power of attorney, and so she had to, like, write her name, and she wrote Mary, and I was like, what? I was like, that is not... It, like, blew my little, like, 8th grade mind. I was like, that's not your name.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been lied to.
It's also fun for me and Allie because, like, we'll go, again, to a store or something, or we'll be talking on the phone to, like, someone in charge of something, and they'll be like, what's your mom's name? And we'll be like, it's either under Mary or Diane. And they'll be like, what do you mean? And I'll be
Right.
like, how do you not
I
know
don't
your...
have 2 moms. I just have one confused mom.
Yes. Yeah. So, Mary Reiner, she was the next victim. She had recently given birth to her 4th child. So at about 3:15 p.m., she wasn't feeling well, so she took some Tylenol. You can probably guess she almost immediately collapsed. She was pronounced dead at 9:30 the next morning. There will
That
be...
is so tragic.
I know. There will be more intervening information on a lot of these people. Just, I'm trying to give, like, the incident, the death, and then move on to the next person.
Yeah.
But there will be more information. Okay.
She looks like America Ferrera.
She does.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
she totally does.
Okay, so if we could go to the next slide. So this is Stanley and Teresa Janis. So Stanley is Adam Janis's younger brother. So after Adam's death at the hospital, his family went back to his to Adam's house. His younger brother Stanley had chronic back pain, so he asked his wife Teresa to get him some Tylenol. They both ended up taking 2 Tylenol each. He collapsed, and then she collapsed. Stanley was pronounced dead at 8:15 p.m., and then Teresa Janice was on life support until October 1st at 1:15 p.m., which was 2 or 3 days later. So if we could go to so that's 3 people from one family.
I know, that's so sad because they came home after, the brother died, and then they die, and it's
yeah.
Those poor,
this is such a sad
parents of those 2 brothers.
I know, yeah. Okay, so if we can go to the next one. So this is Mary McFarland.
That looks just like my aunt.
I'll believe you on that. I don't know what your aunt looks like. So at about 6 p.m., and this is all on September 29th. This is all in the same day. Mary McFarland told her co-workers in Lombard, which is, again, suburb of Chicago, that she had a headache. She went into the back room to take some Tylenol. Within minutes, she was on the floor, and she was pronounced dead at 3:15 the next morning. So, this is all but one of the victims so far. So, again, going with just the timeline. So, at about 8 p.m., again on September 29th, which was about 15 minutes before Stanley Janice was pronounced dead, investigators arrived at Adam Janice's house. They kind of noticed that there were 6 Tylenol missing from the bottle and that there were 3 people who were dead, and so they went back to the hospital and brought the bottle with them. So if we could go to the next slide. This is Paula Prince. At about 9:30 p.m., she stopped at a Walgreens in Chicago, in Chicago itself, to buy some Tylenol. And her body was discovered on October 1st at 5 p.m. They think that she took them Wednesday night and was dead before the press conference the next morning. The police held a press conference the next morning to discuss all of this. And she becomes very important to the investigation because of some security footage that shows her buying the Tylenol, which we will get into later. So at about 10 p.m., again on September 29th, Nurse Jensen, who was the one who gave that quote about Adam Janice earlier, she suggested that Tylenol had caused the deaths. But her nurses being the best. I know, but her superior just kind of was like, "No,
you
that's
silly
ridiculous."
woman.
Yeah, they didn't take it seriously.
Nurses don't know anything. You didn't go to med school.
Yeah. And then by this point, investigators had also figured out that the Elk Grove paramedics had inventoried Mary Kellerman's Tylenol, so they asked the police at Elk Grove to bring the bottle to the hospital. So, the cops knew and this nurse knew, but they didn't talk to each other to know at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's just, it's the 80s. Who knows what's going on? At this point, one of the officers smelled the bottle, and they smelled almonds. So, almonds is what cyanide smells like, and only about half the population can actually smell cyanide. So, they got really lucky that this officer was able to smell cyanide.
I really want to know if I'm, part of that.
I know, right?
Group. It's, one of my lifelong, I need to know this.
I know.
Where does anyone know where I can get cyanide just to, have a little sniff?
Yeah.
I don't want to use it. Yeah. I just want to smell
it. Yes, yeah. This officer smelled the bottle, smelled almonds. They also noticed that the 2 bottles had the same control number. So the next day, so Thursday, September 30th, at 1 a.m., they had been testing this Tylenol that they got from Mary Kellerman. Lab reports showed a massive amount of cyanide in the capsules. There was 100 to 1,000 times more than was necessary to kill a human being. Which is why these people, that's why they were collapsing pretty much immediately, was because it was this much cyanide. So at about 9:30 in the morning, the medical examiner met with an attorney from Johnson & Johnson, which was the parent company of Tylenol's manufacturer. It kind of seemed like the attorney was trying to get them to keep quiet about everything, but after they proved that there was cyanide in the Tylenol, he could see that they couldn't do that. So prior to this happening, Johnson & Johnson held 35% of the over-the-counter pain reliever market, and that dropped to 8% within a few weeks of the murders.
Wow.
Yeah, so at about 10 a.m., which is about half an hour later, authorities held a press conference saying that there was cyanide found in some Tylenol. At 3 p.m., Johnson & Johnson announced the recall of all Tylenol from that control number that they had noticed on those 2 Tylenol bottles. So the next day, Friday, October 1st, Teresa Janice was taken off of life support. Which, just as a side note, so this is only somewhat related to this. So I took estates and trusts last year, and there was actually Teresa and Stanley both died intestate, which means they didn't have a will, either of them. And so because they both died, and because Teresa Janice was, quote unquote brain dead before she was physically taken off of life support and was pronounced dead, there was a fight from their potential inheritors over who got, their estate. And we actually talked about it in my estates and trust class, which was really odd. Because my professor, I didn't make the connection that it was these people, because I couldn't, it just didn't, match up with me. But then at the very end of class, my professor was like, also, these two people died because of the Tylenol murders. And I was like, what?
Why don't you lead with that information?
I know, right?
I would have paid attention and taken notes had I known.
Well, this was also 2 weeks into class, so I was still paying attention. But so there was actually a fight over their estate, which is now taught in estates and trusts, which I just think is odd. On October 1st, they took her off life support. Paula Prince's body was also discovered, which made her the first death in Chicago itself. So then, on Monday, October...
In Chicago proper.
Yes, in Chicago proper. So on Monday, October 4th, which was the following Monday, the Chicago City Council passed an ordinance requiring tamper-resistant packaging for all drugs sold in stores. And then Chicago PD and EMTs were driving around with loudspeakers. So if you can go to the next slide, this is the video that we're going to watch about 2 seconds of. This is just a video I highlighted. If you just press play, just go ahead and press play. This is, it's just a video of an ambulance driving around with somebody yelling, "Do not take Tylenol," out of it. And to me, it's kind of terrifying, because can you imagine if you were just, walking down the street and all of a sudden an ambulance showed up and was like, "Don't take Tylenol"?
I would so be dead, because anytime I don't feel good, and I think it's because of that redhead thing where, we feel pain differently than people. It sounds really stupid, but it's true.
Yeah.
I take, a fistful of ibuprofen.
I don't take regular strength Tylenol, because I literally have to take 5 of them to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Because I got my body super used to painkillers, and do not recommend. Do not self-medicate, friends.
Yeah.
Mine just doesn't work.
I mean, I always had to take more than the recommended dose, but now it's an obscene amount, and we just don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's just...
I don't want to OD.
Yeah. That was the only video I could find. I could have sworn I'd seen a different video of police driving around with loudspeakers, but this one's good enough.
That brings me not PTSD, because it wasn't traumatic, but brings up my memories of Korea and the sirens and announcements all the time.
Yeah, that's just not a thing here. So when it does happen.
Had we not talked about it last week, you just said, brings up my memories of Korea.
Yes.
That's really dark.
It does sound like a really dark situation. It wasn't. I was a child.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is dark. It's freaky, but you made it sound
true, because it was in
war.
case North Korea ever invaded us. But
yeah.
It's cool.
This is related, I promise. So I said I started Lovecraft Country. The main guy is a Korean war vet. So
nice.
And they bring up shell shock.
Obviously, but
yeah, they bring up shell shock because that's what they called it still.
I mean,
he doesn't have it, but they thought he did because they thought he was going crazy, but they just forgot what had actually happened. So, where was I? Okay, so Monday, October 4th, they're requiring the tamper-resistant packaging for drugs, and Chicago PD and the EMTs are driving around with loudspeakers, yelling at people not to take Tylenol. So the next day, October 4th, Johnson & Johnson recalled all Tylenol products. So not just extra strength, not just the stuff from that control number, literally every Tylenol product. So it was 31 million bottles valued at $100 million, which is $312.8 million today.
That is so much.
Yeah. I think it was also on this day that they stopped production and advertisement for Tylenol and advised the public not to take any medicine with acetaminophen in it. They did this at some point, but I couldn't figure out exactly what day, but I think it makes sense that it would be on this same day. They also offered replacement of purchased capsules, but I'm assuming those replacements did not show up until after they figured out what was going on. Yeah, and then the next day, there was an extortion letter that arrived at Johnson & Johnson, which demanded $1 million in order to stop the Tylenol killings. And this is where we're going to move off the timeline and then into the investigation itself.
I accidentally went to the next slide, and I've been trying really hard not to laugh.
Hannah, damn it!
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Shelby, don't go to... Why did you do that, Shelby? Don't go to the next slide.
I didn't mean to.
Well, no, Shelby did it too. Now I'm mad.
Too late.
It's really funny.
Okay, I still have to get through a couple of things before we get to that.
Okay. I'll shut my mouth.
Okay. So, with the investigation, the police figured out that the control numbers weren't relevant. The tampered with bottles all came from different pharmaceutical companies and were bought at different stores. They had all occurred in the Chicago area, so sabotage during production was ruled out because otherwise it would have been a nationwide issue. So they tested over 10 million recalled pills. They found 50 that were found to contain cyanide, and this is across 8 bottles. So 5 of those bottles belonged to the victims, 2 had been sent back in the recall, and 1 was still on the shelf, like waiting to be bought. They never found any physical evidence like fingerprints or like hair or something. There was nothing. And, because it was the 80s, surveillance cameras weren't as common, so there wasn't a lot of video evidence either. So they looked into white-collar crime, they looked into employees, they looked at shoplifters, and they interrogated recently released prisoners. They eventually concluded that the culprit had taken the bottles off the shelves, placed the cyanide-laced capsules inside, and then put them back on the shelves, probably on September 28th. And they would have had to have done that fairly quickly because the cyanide would have caused the capsules to disintegrate. So if we can go to the suspects, which is the next slide, which you guys ruined!
Sorry about it.
It's still hilarious.
The guy's name is Roger Arnold, and I couldn't find a picture of him, so instead I put up a picture of Benedict Arnold.
I love
that. And it says, pretend that this picture of Benedict Arnold is actually Roger Arnold. Oh my god.
So, yes, pretend
I told you I didn't have my whole second cup of coffee, so it's downstairs waiting for me.
So yeah, pretend that this picture of Benedict Arnold is actually Roger Arnold because I could not find a picture of him. So, the first suspect was some man named Roger Arnold. He had said some weird shit about the murders while at a bar, and then somebody told the police. The police interrogated him and searched his home. He worked at a jewel, warehouse with Mary Reiner's father, and Adam Janis had purchased his Tylenol from a jewel. The store where Mary Reiner purchased her Tylenol was across the street from where Arnold's wife was hospitalized. She was in an inpatient psychiatric facility, which is just that's just weird. And it would give him reason to be at that store if he was visiting his wife. They found a lot of DIY crime books and chemistry equipment at his home, which in the BuzzFeed video, Ryan says they found I don't remember exactly how Ryan phrased it, but Shane was did they just say, Shane was just did they say how to cry? But it was just weird, it was DIY crime books, which is weird. With the chemistry equipment, also weird. He refused to take a lie detector test, which, lie detectors are bullshit anyway, so,
Can I read you guys my favorite sentence with the word DIY in it?
Yes. Okay,
so I probably read this to you two before. It was that dating profile of that Polish guy.
Uh-huh.
Did I ever read this to you?
I feel like you did, but I can't remember.
Okay, I'm going to read it to you exactly how it is written because of a lot of it is just all caps. Here we go. I am with Polish, lives at Rockland, working at fences. I like movies, a good club, music, travel. Try new things unknown. I like to dance and fun. DIY. I love football. For more, ask me. Smiley face.
You sounded like Gru from Despicable Me.
Well, that's how I interpreted this.
Literally the whole time I was like, oh my god, it's Gru.
It's Gru.
Whatever.
Oh
my god, that's
These are the kind of people who are interested in me. Oh, good times, good times.
Oh man. Okay.
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Okay, so this dude, yeah, he refused to take a lie detector test, which is bullshit anyway, because lie detectors are just used as a manipulation tactic by police. So I personally never blame people for not taking a lie detector test, but some people still do. So,
I mean, I don't care one way or the other. They're not admissible in court, so it doesn't
they're
matter
not
one way or
admissible
the
in
other.
court. No, they're not. They just look...
They're really easy to fake.
Exactly. They're really easy to fake. They're really easy to get the answers you want out of the person being interrogated.
Yeah, because it's literally just measuring your heart rate. Like,
it's literally just measuring your heart rate. Yeah, they're complete and total bullshit. A lot of people, not a lot, because I feel like this is becoming more in, like, the, I'm trying to think of the word. I don't know. I think more people are just becoming aware that lie detectors are bullshit. But there's still a lot of people who are like, he didn't take a lie detector. He must have done it. Like, no, guys.
No.
Like, that's not what this is.
No.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the people who ask for a lawyer, but, like, they're not guilty.
Yeah. You know why you do that?
It doesn't mean anything. You just ask for a lawyer because that's what you were supposed to do.
You do that so that cops don't trick you into confessing something that you did not do.
Yeah,
and so that you are not
the number
held,
of false confessions.
Yes, and so that you are not held indefinitely without an arrest or without questions.
Mm-hmm.
Always ask for an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, with this guy, they never had enough info on him. But he did shoot and kill somebody a year later because he suspected that person of turning him into the police. So,
that's suspicious.
Yeah, ended up being a shitbag, but, like, he probably didn't do it. So the next suspect, if you can go to the next slide, was Ted Kaczynski, who was the Unabomber. This one, I don't think, personally, I'm just going to say off the top, I don't think he did this. I think it's just people looking for, like, points to match up, and then it's just a confirmation bias. But it is interesting.
Oh, jinx.
Yeah, it is interesting. So.
Yeah, because there's that whole Unizod thing.
What?
Where they think that the Unabomber and the Zodiac are one and the same.
Yeah, even though, like, no.
It's not.
No. Yeah.
Not possible.
It is weird with Ted Kaczynski with this case just because there are a lot of really weird coincidences. I'm just going to, again, just on the top. I don't think he did it. I just want to mention it because it's really weird. So, Ted Kaczynski, he's from Illinois. He had previously lived in Chicago. There was an unofficial Tylenol murder in Sheridan, Wyoming that had occurred 2 months before the Chicago ones. And Sheridan was on the way to Kaczynski's cabin in Montana, and he would have gone through there on his way to or from Chicago. There's this whole thing about being obsessed with wood, because apparently Ted Kaczynski was obsessed with wood. I don't know enough about the Unabomber to, pass judgment on this statement.
Yeah, he just had, like, a lot of weird coincidences with either the name wood or, like, physically literally wood.
Yeah, because a lot of...
So weird.
Because in case people don't know, Ted Kaczynski just, like, mailed people bombs, basically. I mean, there's more to it, but that's, like, the basics of it. So a lot of his bombing victims had Wood in their name, and the 2 of the 3 founders of Johnson & Johnson had the middle name of Wood. It's just weird. The FBI did request a DNA sample from him in 2009, specifically to check it against samples that were connected to the murders. But, like, I don't know where they got those samples, considering they didn't find any physical evidence. So I don't know what they were checking it against.
Right, like...
Yeah, I don't know. And then he also gave, like, cryptic statements that he might be involved, but he's also a convicted serial murderer. So, like...
Yeah, he's also just, like
a little cuckoo bananas. So, like,
Cuckoo,
I don't, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's just
Like,
a little not reliable.
Yeah, and again, I don't know enough about him or about his case to pass judgment on this, but, I mean, there are cases where people who are already in prison for the rest of their lives for murder, they just claim they did these other murders just because, and then they didn't. You know, like, that's just a thing.
Just to get attention.
Basically, yeah.
I just know that Unabomber is named that because he was the university bomber.
Yeah.
So he was, like, blowing up universities and shit.
Yeah.
And I think airlines, too. I think...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so this last guy, if you can go to the next slide, he's the main suspect still. His name is James Lewis. So...
He looks like a really, like a really sad Bob Ross impersonator.
He does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, so he was the one who sent the extortion letter, because there were fingerprints, and they somehow matched them to Lewis. I don't know how. They just did. And he was eventually arrested in New York City that December. But even then, the extortion letters, they turned out to be some weird, like, revenge strategy against some guy that Lewis believed had cheated his wife out of some money. And they tried to pin it on him by including his bank account number, which I don't know how they got this dude's bank account number. I don't know why. It was just weird. Like, he wasn't actually trying to get them to stop, like, doing the murders. He was literally just trying to pin the murders on this other guy by sending this extortion letter. It was really weird.
That's so strange.
Yeah, and then he had a...
Like, there's so many better ways to get revenge on people.
Exactly. It was just very weird. Yeah. Hannah, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I had a question, but I forgot it.
Okay.
My coffee is downstairs.
If you think of it later, just tell me.
Okay.
We need a 2-second break so Hannah can get her coffee.
No, I just had a...
I'm almost done.
What was I gonna say?
God, my episodes are so short. We're only at 45 minutes. Damn.
Oh, and most of that was us in the beginning, like,
I know.
screaming about being wrong about everything.
That won't be the case next week because my notes are twice as long. Like, literally twice as long. So, yay.
Oh, I thought this was the one that you had, like, 12 pages of notes for.
No. That's next time for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So, he was still under suspicion of committing the murders, though. He had a weird checkered past that made him seem super shady. I couldn't really find specifics on it other than people thought he was shady. I don't know. He had...
I mean, people think I'm shady, so...
yeah, exactly.
Feel you, bro. No, I don't.
He had bought Amtrak tickets for, like, New York on September 4th, so they were supposedly, like, he and his wife were supposedly in New York City during the killings, but some investigators think that this was a false alibi.
What does his wife think?
Oh, I remembered my question.
Yes.
What year did this happen?
1980... Let me check, I can't remember. 82.
Yeah, so that's definitely how he got those bank numbers. He just called the bank and was like, yes, I am this person.
True,
And they're like,
yeah.
okay, cool. It's 1987. Here's all the information.
True.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely how that happened. Yeah. So the main reason they think James Lewis committed these crimes is because there is surveillance video showing Paula Prince, who was that last victim. She was the only one who was in Chicago proper, buying the Tylenol that ended up killing her. And a lot of people think that Lewis is the one in the photo. So if we could go to the last slide, I think it's last. So this is a photo from that security footage. So it's kind of hard to make out just because it's black and white, but I put notes on the side. So Paula Prince is that arrow in the center, that woman in black. And then at the very top right in the back, there's that guy in like a white shirt or like a lab coat looking kind of a thing. That guy might be Lewis.
Okay, but is that guy in the front in the white shirt, Steve Irwin?
He looks like Steve Irwin.
He really does look.
He does.
And the guy who looks like Lewis looks like a mad scientist.
He does, yeah. But yeah, like...
But the guy who looks like Steve Irwin also looks a little bit like one of the Beatles.
He does.
Oh my god, he's like a Ringo Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Steve Ringo.
Yeah.
Steve Starr.
I feel like half this
Ringo
episode is us just going, oh, that person looks like this person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you see the picture of my aunt I sent you
Yeah.
guys?
You're right. It
She
does
totally
look
looks like that lady.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like... There's other evidence too, which I'm gonna get into, but like this surveillance video is like the main reason why, well, not the main reason, it's a, fairly important thing that people look at to say like, yes, this is Lewis, because like it does look like him, but it could also look like any generic white guy with a beard.
Far away,
and it's very far away, and it's blurry. Black and white, and it's from 82.
So every like dad in the 80s looked like that.
Exactly.
Right? Like I know at least 5 people who look like that.
Exactly.
Like it's just a generic like white dude with a beard.
Yeah.
And a slightly receding
He looks
hairline.
like a professor.
Yeah.
Like he teaches anthropology or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
like he literally looks like my geology professor.
See? I knew it was an ology.
Oh man. Yeah, so like it's just weird. Like it is kind of, I mean, I was gonna say it is kind of a coincidence that there's this dude who looks just like him, but like all of these suspects have just an insane amount of coincidences. So like that's just, how this investigation went, basically. Yeah, so not even with, just because they never had any actual evidence, they were unable to prove that he did it, or he did the Tylenol murders anyway. But he was convicted of extortion, and he served 13 years of a 20-year sentence. While in prison, he offered a theory on how someone could tamper with the pills, which, like...
That does not make you look any less guilty, bro.
And then he later published a book, like a novel, called Poison, The Doctor's Dilemma, though he insisted it had nothing to do with the murders. The plot was about lead poisoning from water.
Okay, O.J. Simpson, if I did it.
That was actually my next note, was that O.J. Simpson did this too.
What?
What a dick.
If you're already in prison because you're, like, suspected of tampering with medication and, like, poisoning people, why would you sit there and be like, oh, well, if I had done it, it would have been like this. Or let me write a book about how to poison people.
Exactly.
But
and
you're trying to claim you're innocent? Like,
exactly. Yeah, he maintains to this day that he was not involved. He just did, like you said, like, why would you write and publish a novel about, and again, it's lead poisoning from water, which is different than cyanide poisoning in capsules, but it's still, like, why would you even bring in poisoning? Why? Why would you do that? It's just
like
literally write anything.
If you're
else.
writing a murder book, there are so many
other options. There's so many ways to murder people.
Just like do some just do like some high fantasy bullshit in prison. You have so much time to like world build and draw maps and like make an elvish language and whatnot.
Seriously, it's just very weird. And then, as Hannah already pointed out, and which was my next note, O.J. Simpson also did this. Although O.J. Simpson's was a lot more on the nose because he literally laid out exactly what had happened while claiming that it didn't.
If I decapitated my estranged wife, here's what I would have done.
I might do, well, actually I probably won't just because it's a massive case, but the O.J. Simpson case is just fascinating to me.
Okay, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
So, I drive a lot, right? Because I live far, far away from everyone I know and love. And whenever I have Emma in the car, we play 20 questions. Okay, would you agree that the O.J. Simpson trial was a good 20 questions topic? Like, that was my I don't know, answer or whatever, and she had to guess it. And I like, led her to believe that, like, it wasn't, I don't know.
I think it would depend on, like, if you knew the person
that was what my answer was
knew a significant
gonna be.
amount about it.
Yeah, that was what my answer was.
Yeah, I guess she didn't know enough about it, because she doesn't, she's not, like, super into crime.
You would need to know it.
Because how would you, because, like,
what were the questions?
Of it, so if I was to be asking questions, I would have been like, it's a court case about murder?
I kept telling her it was an event. Like, she kept...
Okay.
She's like, is it a person? I was like, no, it's an event.
Oh.
I know that's not how you play 20 questions, but I had to help her. Whatever. I thought it was really smart.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it as the...
You guys would have gotten it.
Oh, yeah, we would have,
but yeah, I think it's one of those that, like, you kind of have to, like, read who you're playing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was also, like, really... We were on, like, our 11 of a 12-hour thing.
Yeah.
And it was, like, super late at night. So, who knows?
It was probably, more interesting than the question Allison texted me yesterday, which is, which side do you consider the front of the
The
envelope?
one about which
which
side of
side's
the
the
envelope
front?
is the front.
Because apparently that was what my extended family was having an argument about last night. So.
Look, that is a valid question, but it's definitely the side you write on. Why would it be where the flap is? That's the back.
I don't know.
You don't write on the back of an envelope.
Exactly.
Well, I
do not
can
play
see where
devil's
there's the
advocate
confusion
here.
because...
What? You are wrong.
Me?
No arguing for the back is allowed.
No. I was just saying, when you first asked that question, I thought of, like, the part that opens, and then I was like, no, that can't be.
There we
so
go.
I can see why someone would be confused, because that's the part where you get all the action out of the envelope.
Yeah.
But, yes, the front is the front, because that's the part you write on.
Yeah.
Because
See,
it's the front.
it's my cousin and his fiance were arguing about it at some point, because I guess I'm assuming it's because they're doing invitations for their wedding. I don't know, though. I didn't get the context. And she decided to bring it up to the group at large. And I'm assuming I'm not going to say which cousin it is, but knowing which cousin it is, I feel like he was arguing that it was the back. And she was saying,
do I
it was
know
the
this
front.
cousin?
You do. To be fair, you know all my cousins at some level.
If I don't know them personally, I know of them, for sure.
Shannon has about 9,000 cousins, and every single, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, one of them is either having a baby or getting married.
They're all married now, for the most part, except...
And they all got married in Colorado.
Only 2 of them did. And they live out there.
But I feel like you're always in Colorado.
I literally have gone out there for weddings. Twice. One of them was in Utah. Maybe you're thinking of that.
Maybe. I don't know.
The West.
Yeah, well, because they live in Colorado.
It's always not Illinois.
And then, none of my cousins live in there anymore.
Wow.
Very few of my cousins
Lucky
still
them.
live in that area. But yeah, it's me, Allie. So it's me and my sister, and then 2 of my cousins are not married or engaged. And then my one cousin is engaged. Everybody else is married now, I'm pretty sure. You're right about the kids, though. Although I don't think no one's pregnant right now that I'm aware of. Doesn't mean that they're not. Just means I'm not aware of it.
I haven't announced it yet.
Hey, who's knocked up? Just wondering.
Well, they don't even need to announce it. They just need to tell my mom, and she will immediately tell me, even if they were told not to tell people. Because that's how my family works.
This is in the strictest of confidence. Don't tell anyone we're pregnant.
I'm sorry,
Attention,
but who
Shannon!
would tell your mom and be like, oh, keep it a secret?
That's how my entire family is. It's the same thing with my oldest cousin.
I'm not related to your mother, but I know her well enough that I would never tell her something and be like, oh, keep it a secret.
Yeah, no, I don't do that anymore. Because she tells her sisters everything. Yeah.
She tells her sisters, or she tells you and Allie.
Yeah.
Like half the time, like, if I were to meet her out in the, like, grocery store or something, like, unexpectedly, she'd be like, oh, did you hear about my cousin having a baby? And I'd be like, I don't know them.
That I wasn't supposed to tell anyone?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
She'd be like, oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to tell anyone that, so don't tell Shannon, although I already told her, so it's fine.
That's literally, that's how
conversations with your mom
Well,
go.
then even then she tells me not to tell people, and I'm like, Mom, who am I going to tell? The entire family already knows, and I don't talk to them that much anyway.
Right.
And my friends aren't going to care.
It's so funny. Like, I love your mom, but I would never trust her with, like, a secret.
My entire family is like that. It's not just her. It's all of them. None of them can keep a secret. Well, because you know how my mom found out about my last cousin getting pregnant? Because her mom couldn't keep a secret. Like,
yeah.
It's her whole family is like that. Ugh.
Why even bother trying to keep it a secret?
I just don't tell people anything.
Found out I'm pregnant, so I guess the whole family knows now.
Yeah, that's literally how that happens. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I know which of my cousins... I know more information about my cousins than I really should know because none of their parents can keep their damn mouths shut.
Yeah. I don't know anything about my cousins. Like, I found out one of them is engaged, maybe married the other day, and I was like, oh, okay.
Maybe married.
If you say so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I know way too much about all of them all the time. So, and I'm sure they know
Granted,
the same
I don't
amount
live
about me.
anywhere near mine, but...
I live with a couple of mine.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. They're never home, though. I basically live alone.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, my family's a hoot.
So weird.
I am not cutting you guys off, but I actually have to go.
No,
to
it's
work.
fine. We've been ranting for
shit.
like 20 minutes, so.
Right.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Feel free to keep in whatever you want. I don't care, but yeah.
I
gotta go.
I might move some of this conversation to earlier in the recording.
Feel free.
That way people actually like listen to it, because this was actually interesting and we actually had tangents.
It was, yeah.
So I might move it. Yeah, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, friends.
Don't
See ya.
eat bad Tylenol, smell almonds.
Yes. Don't self-medicate.
Don't self-medicate.
Yeah.
All. Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast. Our website is thetriadpodcast.wordpress.com. There, you can find information about our latest episode, including the show notes and sources.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive.